जैसे जेनरिक मेडिसिन्स के प्रति लोगों में रुचि बढ़ती जा रही है, वैसे वैसे मार्केट में इसकी डिमांड भी काफ़ी हद तक बढ़ती जा रही है। लेकिन चिंता का विषय ये है कि इस तरह की फ़ायदेमंद और सस्ती दवाएं मार्केट में आसान रूप से उपलब्ध नहीं हो पा रही हैं। इन्हीं सब विषयों पर चर्चा करने के लिए आज चंडीगढ़ के शिवालिक होटल में एसोचैम के द्वारा एक महत्वपूर्ण प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस का आयोजन किया जा रहा है। तो आइए फ्रेंड्स, आपको लेके सीधा अंदर चलते हैं और दिखाते हैं इस प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की झलकियां।
आयोजन की शुरुआत दीप प्रज्वलन के साथ की गई।
I invite Shri D.S. Rawat to please give the opening remarks.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I feel greatly honored and proud in extending a warm welcome to all of you, and especially to the most distinguished people on the dais. Assocham, many of you are aware that it's a knowledge chamber, and we have been acknowledged and by the government as well as by the international agencies as a Knowledge Chamber of India, and we have been focusing on primarily in undertaking the research studies state-wise, sector-wise and national as well as the international level. As all of you are aware that health sector is a concern area for all of us, and therefore the Government of India, the Department of Pharmaceutical has been focusing on promoting the generic drugs, and it is in this context that we are holding the conference and consultation conference with the support of the Government of India here.
Now the Government of India has also introduced this, try to promote Ayush. Ayush is a multi-forum organization, it's a government ministry dealing with homeopathy, Ayurveda and various other drugs. There was a fair here in Sector 17 once, parade ground. I very rarely go to any fair, but that particular I went all around. But still we cannot deny there is something known as the effect and the cost of each one of the operations. Whether it is Ayush or whatever it is, Ayurvedic medicines are fairly expensive. Homeopathy is less expensive. So ultimately, we have to consider the cost and the health.
Implementation of education, engineering, economics and enforcement needs to be done. A lot of effort needs to be really on research and development, new innovations in the area. And a focus has to be on encouraging the new entrepreneurs. You know, especially the small companies, how the government can support them so that they can become, produce some of these drugs, not just as a contracted agency, but really looking at a company which can manufacture these drugs, especially the generics, and then grow the market.
All the four sectors of Indian economy, that is public sector, foreign sector, large Indian sector and small scale sector, are well represented in the industry. But as an entrepreneur, I am not happy with this turnover. Even with growth in exports, because the huge demand of medicine, especially in the developing countries as well as various parts of the Middle East and Latin America, the reason for this growth turnover, everybody knows that we are the cheapest in the world and our quality has been proven at various levels of interview.
We all know, of course, Indian pharma industry is growing very rapidly. We heard Mr. Maheshwari talk about the growth, and the growth is something like 12 to 15% every year, and that's probably poised for even faster rate of growth. And we also, just to put some statistics, basically, I was looking at certain statistics. We are in the top 5, we will be in the top 5 global pharma markets by the year 2030. And otherwise, you see, if you look at in financial terms, we contribute something like $20 billion US in the entire global pharma economics. And we are big exporters of generic medicines. We export almost 40% of all the generic medicines that are consumed in US. So that's the kind of contribution that we have. So it's a huge industry.
As far as Jan Aushadhi are concerned, Jan Aushadhi started in medical colleges, I think about 10 years back. They started, they came, people came there, then drugs, as they were, supply was not there, they were closed down. Now again there is a pressure to start Jan Aushadhi. One company is coming from Delhi. They have given us 263 drugs, and they have promised that they'll be giving more drugs, as far as they'll be giving us 501 drugs, including all surgical bandages, threads and everything. And definitely I want that the population or the patients which we treat in our medical colleges or in the government colleges, government hospitals, they are not well off. They cannot afford all those costly medicines. I do agree with this. I 100% agree with this.
Business used to be here in India quite some time, in 60s and 70s, up to 80s. Somehow, because of certain policies, it has shifted to China. All the APIs in this country, except for 5 or 7%, which is manufactured in India, is coming from China. And rest of the formulators, the medicine which we call generic medicines, are done by the formulators. Numbers, of course, is very variable. Mr. Rawat had said 23,000 or so. Still, we do not know what are the numbers. Here, these APIs, that will depend upon the quality. They will decide the quality of the things.
Somebody said that the chemist also recommends. Chemist recommends on the sale and his profit. So generic medicines are very important. When the Europe, 82% medicine as generic. My son, who happens to be a cardiologist in UK, my daughter, who happens to be senior consultant, and I happen to be professor, we have yet to come across in the last 50 years in any part of UK any medicine which is non-generic. Remember, a GP can be suspended from the shores of British Isles in case he recommends any medicine advocated by any of the companies. That's the trust they have.
Thank you, Dr. Mohi. I now request the dignitaries on the dais to kindly release the knowledge paper jointly prepared by Assocham and RNCOs.
Most vital point in the generic medicines is to make the confidence of the patient and the consumer. And that can be only with the quality of the drug. If it will go in the mind of the public that the generic medicine that is available at 100% less amount than the branded medicine and is equally effective, then the consumer will go for the generic medicine.
The crux is that the public sector should come forward, not only for testing. I must, as Dr. Bhutani in the morning also, accentuated that we must, we must emphasize to the government of India, because this particular program seminar is being organized by Assocham along with Department of Pharmaceuticals.
The most important stakeholder which has been ignored, the user, the patient, the consumer. Whether we have called the consumers whether we have called any consumer association to participate in this important meeting. There was a discussion going on. I will try and give the answer to that branded generic also. As a consumer, whether I have the opportunity to choose or pick a drug prescribed by the doctor, of the company, of my own choice as a consumer, I think answer is no. Rule 65 comes in the way. Whatever doctor has prescribed, pharmacist has to give that particular thing.
The Jan Aushadhi concept launched by BPPI is also very good, and we think that it should include more and more products, even medical devices where the price to the retailer and the MRP is substantially different. In this, the patient can be benefited much more if their range is increased in the Jan Aushadhi shops. The implementation can be better if more companies are involved in supplying those products. Once more competition is there, availability will naturally improve.
I think today's topic regarding generics has been thought about by Assocham, I think, because of the current issues that is going on in the Indian pharma industry, because of some of the retaliation by the drug regulatory authorities of other countries, particularly US as well as the European Medicinal Agency, EMEA. I think they have come out with some strict ban on products being marketed as generics by high level of Indian companies, Ranbaxy to start with, and then recently some clinical trials and bioequivalence studies which were conducted by GVK Biosciences.
इस कार्यक्रम का मुख्य आकर्षण था क्वेश्चन आंसर राउंड, जिसमें लोगों ने बड़े उत्साह से हिस्सा लिया.
I would highlight a particular statute in the Drugs and Cosmetics Act, which says that a pharmacist is not authorized to substitute a branded Schedule H and Schedule X drug. So my dear friends, unless this statute is amended, we cannot expect a pharmacist to substitute a branded drug with a generic, because if he does it, he is then breaking the law.
The Assocham is doing a nice job by promoting the generics. Generic drugs are equally good as for the branded are. There is only difference in the marketing strategies. That's why Assocham is highlighting all these factors, and this is a good on the part of the Assocham.
And I find it very good on behalf of Assocham that they have organized this kind of conference, and I hope they will continue doing this kind of events in future too.
Last 30 years से मैं जेनरिक में डील कर रहा हूँ, जेनरिक बिजनेस में. तो अब जब मेरे को ये मालूम पड़ा कि एसोचैम ये एक कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहा है, तो मेरे को ऐसा लगा कि ये एक अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म है ये जानने के लिए कि गवर्नमेंट क्या सोचती है, डॉक्टर्स क्या सोचते हैं और हमारी इंडस्ट्री के लोगों को क्या दिक्कत आती है, और मैं क्योंकि डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में हम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन वालों को क्या दिक्कत आती है. इस सब के लिए ये जो एक मंच मिला हमको, ये एक बहुत अच्छा मंच है.
तो फ्रेंड्स, देखा आपने कि किस तरीके से आज इस प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में जो कि चंडीगढ़ में हुआ, शिवालिक होटल में किया गया, एसोचैम के द्वारा किया गया, वहाँ पर जेनरिक मेडिसिन्स के ग्रोथ को लेकर कई तरह के सवाल किए गए, कई तरह के लोगों ने प्रश्न किए, जिसका जवाब यहाँ पर बैठे गणमान्य व्यक्तियों ने दिया. तो ऐसे ही केयर वर्ल्ड का पूरा यह प्रयास रहता है कि आप तक वो ऐसी सूचनाओं को, ऐसी चर्चाओं को आप तक लाए जिससे कि आपको भी बेनिफिट मिल सके. तो ऐसे ही कई चीज़ों को लेकर हम फिर आपके सामने हाजिर होते रहेंगे. तब तक आप अपना ख्याल रखिए, खुश रहिए, स्वस्थ रहिए, सुंदर दिखिए, क्योंकि हमें आपकी फिक्र है. और देखते रहिए केयर वर्ल्ड.